The Black Keys. Will we find some gold on the ceiling, or are we looking at just a few lonely old boys? Today on Indie Miners, Dropout Boogie. G'day and welcome to Indie Miners. I'm your host Al, and in Melbourne we have BJ. G'day BJ, how are you?
G'day mate, how's it going?
Yeah, good mate. Today we're going to look at the Black Keys' new album, Dropout Boogie. BJ, I'm going to throw it to you for a bit of history.
Fantastic, yeah. So Dropout Boogie, it's the Black Keys' 11th album. It's in fact nearly 20 years to the day since their very first album, The Big Come Up. So the album is also their third album in the last 3 years, their first one of original new material since 2019's Let's Rock. So this release, like a lot of new releases, the band have come out and said, unsurprisingly, that it's their best one yet. And Al, I know that you could attest to something like that. In terms of the album, they have I guess shied away from just being a two-piece these days. They do collaborate quite a bit, and this one is no exception, where they've got ZZ Top's Billy F. Gibbon in helping them support them on some of their tracks. It's unsurprising that this is a very much a rootsy southern rock album. I have been looking forward to this one, Al. It's been 10 years, around about since El Camino, which is their biggest one with their hits, Lonely Boy or Gold on the Ceiling. So I was been very interested to see if they've still got it. They've still got a couple of those tracks in their back pocket ready to go.
Thanks, BJ. What we're going to look at now is a bit of a new segment of the show. We're going to call it Crunch the Numbers. BJ, do you want to have a bit of a chat about that?
Yeah, sure. So what we've done is basically looking at the Spotify statistics, comparing this to previous Black Keys album. Now, the album, I thought, is very by the numbers in a lot of ways. It is a very straight up and down type of album, probably aside from the very first two tracks. And I guess a lot of the statistics that are coming out of the Spotify API are actually suggesting that and supporting that compared to some of the Black Keys' better albums. So really the two things that have come from me is that they really have slowed down over the years. So a lot of their first albums were very frantic in nature when they were coming out of the blocks and just being a two-piece. It appears as if they've slowed down quite a bit in terms of the numbers that they've put down. And the instrumentalness, so ability to maybe experiment with regards to their pieces, it does seem to be very heavily embedded in roots rock. There isn't a lot of experimentation going by. So this is not a bad album, Al, but wondering what you've thought and wondering what you think about these numbers maybe compared to what you thought when you went through the album yourself.
Yeah, look, I've had two listens of the album from start to finish. Starts with an absolute bang in Wild Child, the lead single, which has an awesome video, which Black Keys are renowned for. My top track that I picked from the album is actually the mid song of the album. It's called How Long, and that kind of really slows down the tempo of the album before it kicks into that kind of traditional 12-bar blues kind of material that the Black Keys are known for. So that's been my top track off the album, and I think it supports the data showing that their tempo really has kind of softened over the years, which is fair enough. After 11 albums, mate. What do you think is a top track and your verdict of the album?
Yeah, look, I like Wild Child, Al. I think that was probably my favourite song off the album. Look, I just feel that there's, I guess if you're looking for the Black Keys, there's probably more that you can get from some of their back catalogue compared to this one. I think this is an album very much for the fans. In terms of what I've given it, I'm going to say 3 out of 5, so 3 stars. I think it's a good album in terms of that, certainly listenable and all of that type of thing, but I feel as if maybe they're running out of steam, I guess, maybe in terms of offering anything new. What did you think, mate?
Thanks, BJ. Yeah, look, I reckon Wild Child is an absolute cracker of a song, but I think they could be in a bit of trouble here. If you actually listen to Wild Thing, the song Wild Thing, very, very similar kind of sound and tempo there. So they could be in a bit of legal trouble there, mate. But I'm going to give it, same as yourself, 3 out of 5. Solid album, but fair bit of dad rock, 12-bar blues kind of filler. Solid filler, but a solid 3 from me. That was the Black Keys' new album, Dropout Boogie.
That wraps up another episode of Indie Miners. Please look to subscribe to the channel, follow us on Twitter, and let us know if there's an album you would like us to look at. So until next time, bye for now, and thank you for watching.